Okay, the boat is out of the water, so I'm going to start doing some routine maintenance before the boat goes back in the building. So I want to run the engine to flush it out with some fresh water through the raw water side of the engine. So I will be doing that. I did this video last year, so I'm going to do another one this year, hopefully make it a little bit better. So basically, I'm going to use an in and out bucket. Let me say that again, in and out bucket. So basically I'm going to fill this bucket with water, and then the engine will suck water out of that, and I will continue to add water so the engine doesn't have the full pressure of the city water, and so it can naturally suck it out at its convenience at the pace that it needs. So that works really, really well. And you can do the same thing if you're adding coolant, but since we are going to be storing the boat inside, I don't need to put coolant in the engine. So that's just a little introduction to what I'm doing. I will now show you how I suck the water out of this. I do have a valve down below, so I will show that now. Okay, I'm in the engine bay. It's kind of hard to see, but there's a valve there. So no one yell at me because that's a Home Depot brass valve. This was just my proof of concept to make sure it worked. I did purchase it in bronze, and I will replace it. But basically there's a T-valve there with a hose going to, one goes to the intake from the C, and then one goes to a hose that I have on the lazarette. So right now it's on seawater, so I'm going to convert it to sucking out of the bucket. And I don't know if you can see it, it's a white handle there. Right now it's just cut off for the hose going to the bucket. So I'm going to open that up now, and then we will start the procedure. And here we are. Now you can see the valve is vertical, so now it's going to suck from the hose going to the bucket and will not suck from the seawater side. And after I run the engine, I also have a couple other maintenance items to do while I'm here. I gotta drain the strainer and drain the muffler as well. So I will do that, and then later on I will change the transmission fluid and the oil later on. But this is just to do the stuff that I need to do to get me inside the building. Okay, so this is my setup. You can see the black hose here. This is going to the engine, and this is obviously the hose from the water. So I'm going to turn this on and fill the bucket, and then I'm going to start the engine, and then the engine will start to suck from the bucket. So, but before I do this, I do want to prime it. So what I do is I'll take the hose and just pre-fill this hose with water, just so it'll start siphoning faster. So I'll do that now. Okay, so I have my trusty mount here. So again, I'm going to start filling the bucket and pre-filling this hose first. So what I'm going to do here is pre-fill the hose with water from the garden hose, fill up the bucket, and then it'll suck the water faster. It's not entirely necessary, but it just makes it go a little bit faster. So here we go. Okay, so that filled the hose more or less. So now I'm going to fill the bucket. forgot a step. I forgot to shut the seacock off. So it was sucking from the seacock and this because I opened the valve. So I had to shut the seacock off. So now it's sucking water down. You can really feel it now. So basically I forgot a step. So if you're doing this yourself with the in and out bucket with the valve, make sure you shut the seacock off to the ocean. So basically this is good for an emergency. If you your bilge pump goes and you're taking on water, you can open up that valve and suck water out of the bilge with this. So it's always good to have. But if you're flushing the motor, you gotta close the seacock. Now I'll keep this running for a little while. As you can see, I have the hose is on, so I'm trying to match the speed of the water being sucked out, and I'm putting it into the same speed so the bucket doesn't overflow or run dry. So when I put my finger over the hose, I can feel it sucking really, really hard. So I'll run this for a few minutes, get up to operating temperature, and that should be more than clear, and then I can go down below and drain the strainer and the muffler. So I'll break it here, and I'll see you in a few minutes. Okay, that's all set now. I ran it for maybe 5 or 10 minutes, and the engine got up to temperature, and so we're done. I shut the engine off. So now all I need to do is drain the sea strainer and drain the muffler. Even though I keep it inside, it's not entirely necessary to do that, but it's just force of habit. It's not a bad thing to do, especially if there's any kind of bad water in there. I don't want it to go stale over the winter. So I will do that. Now I will show you how I do that.